work, while still maintaining the experimental sound of their last few albums. Their next two releases, Inner Secrets and Marathon, released in 1978 and 79, respectively, were a further musical shift for the band, moving away from the Latin-fused rock music that had characterized their work in the late 1960s and the majority of the 70s, to move towards a more album-oriented, conventional rock sound. These albums, however, fared poorly commercially, although both achieved gold status in the US. 1980-97, commercial decline and 7-year hiatus. The 1980s started relatively brightly for Santana, with 1981's platinum-selling Zebop, which also reached the top 20 in several countries, and continued the more conventional rock sound. The following year, Shango was released. This album marked a steep decline in the band's commercial fortunes, although it achieved gold status. The group waited another 3 years to release the follow-up, the longest break for them so far. 1985's Beyond Appearances was a commercial failure, and their first album not to achieve gold certification. Their following 3 releases all continued this commercial decline, with the last of these failing to break the Billboard Top 100. In the midst of this commercial pitfall, the band stopped recording material for an unprecedented 7 years but continued to tour. 1998-2001, best-selling album, Grammy Awards, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 1998, with the group still being on hiatus, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This proved only to be the start of better things to come for Carlos Santana and his band. Their 1999 release, Supernatural, debuted at number 19 on the Billboard 200, but the album's appeal began to snowball, and within 18 weeks it topped the US charts. The lead single released from the album, Smooth, hit the number 1 spot on the Hot 100, and sparked an unstoppable commercial frenzy, and by October 30 the album peaked at number 1, and stayed there for 12 non-consecutive weeks. Not only was the album a hit in the US, it slowly began to spread worldwide, topping charts internationally. The second single released from the album, Maria Maria, also hit the number 1 spot on the Hot 100. Eventually the album reached 15x platinum in the US, and sold 30 million copies worldwide. The album came 28 years after their last US number 1, which was Santana III in 1971. According to Guinness Book of World Records, this is the longest gap between US number 1 albums for the same artist. Musically, the album represented a significant musical shift for the group. The album's predecessor, Milagro, contained strong hard rock influences in addition to the usual Latin rock. However, Supernatural, while still maintaining a Latin and blues rock core, showed influences from popular genres of the era, most notably alternative rock, and also pop rock and R&B. The album won 9 Grammy Awards, including the award for Album of the Year, and also won 3 Latin Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year. Also noteworthy were the album's many collaborations, with the lead single featuring the lead vocals of popular Matchbox 20 singer Rob Thomas. The second number 1 hit was recorded in collaboration with the product Gand B, and another popular single from the album, Put Your Lights On, featured hip-hop and alternative rock artist Everlast. Other guest artists included Eric Clapton, Eagle Eye Cherry, Lauryn Hill, Dave Matthews, and CeeLo. 2002-12, dealing with newfound success. The follow-up to Supernatural came 3 years later and was highly anticipated by international media and fans alike. On October 22, 2002, Shaman was released worldwide. Although it initially sold briskly, 298,973 copies in the US in its first week, and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, the album's appeal quickly wore off and it soon slid down the charts. Despite this, it went on to sell 2x platinum in the US, and achieved platinum status in several other countries including Australia. The first single released from the album, The Game of Love, which featured vocals from Michelle Branch, debuted at number 5 on the Hot 100. The album's next 4 singles failed to chart in most countries, but the final single, Why Don't You and I, featuring the vocals of Alex Band, reached number 8 on the Hot 100. Musically, the album was a return to a more conventional sound for the group, with a mainly Latin rock-based sound. With their renewed appeal worn off, another 3-year wait saw the release of 2005's All That I Am. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 but fared worse internationally, and quickly lost appeal. The album, a continuation of the Latin rock-influenced sound of Shaman, achieved gold certification in the US. A 5-year break from recording saw the release of another studio album, 2010's Guitar Heaven. Musically it was a drastic change for the band, with a far heavier sound at its core and strong heavy metal influences. It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200 but marked another decline for the band, failing to achieve gold status. In 2012 the group released Shapeshifter, which returned to the conventional Latin rock sound and was completely album-oriented, as no singles were released from it. It debuted at number 16 on the Billboard 200. 2013-present, reunion of the classic lineup, Corazon and Santana IV. On February 2, 2013, Carlos Santana confirmed that he would reunite his classic lineup, most of whom played Woodstock with him in 1969. Santana stated that he is reuniting the group with the intention of recording new music. Confirmed for the reunion are Neil Schon, who was in the band in the early 1970s where he traded lead guitar work with Santana before leaving with founding Santana singer-organist Gregg Rolie in 1973 to form Journey, drummer Mike Shrieve and percussionist Mike Carabello. Santana said of Rolie, who played with Ringo Starr's all-star band for the last 2 years, "I'm pretty sure Gregg's going to do it." In February 2013, Rolie told Radio.com, "It's, the reunion, just a matter of putting it together and going and doing it. I would do it. I think it's a great idea. People would love it. It could be great." In the meantime, Santana released on May 6, 2014 a new studio album entitled Corazon and on September 9, 2014, Corazon Live from Mexico, Live It to Believe It, a new live album, on CD, DVD and Blu-ray, of their show in December 14, 2013 in Guadalajara, Mexico. On April 15, 2016, Santana released Santana IV, the wildly anticipated studio album that reunites the early 1970s classic lineup of Carlos Santana, guitar, vocals, Gregg Rolie, keyboards, lead vocals, Neil Schon, guitar, vocals, Michael Carabello, percussion, and Michael Shrieve, drums. The album marks the first time in 45 years since 1971's multi-platinum classic Santana III that the quintet has recorded together. The origins for the reunion go back several years, when Schon suggested that he and Carlos Santana record together. Santana liked the idea but went one better, proposing that they recruit Rolie, Shrieve, and Carabello for what would be called Santana IV. After initial writing sessions and rehearsals took place in 2013, the group recorded throughout 2014 and 2015, amassing 16 new tracks that combined all their signature elements: Afro-Latin rhythms, soaring vocals, electrifying blues psychedelic guitar solos, and irrepressible jubilant percussion work. About the Santana IV team, Santana stated, "It was magical. We didn't have to try to force the vibe, it was immense. From there, we then needed to come up with a balance of songs and jams that people would immediately identify as Santana." Santana IV features 16 all-new tracks written and produced by the band. Joining the core Santana IV band in the studio are current Santana members Carl Perazzo, percussion, and Benny Rietveld, bass, with vocalist Ronald Isley guesting on 2 cuts. The first single from Santana IV, entitled Anywhere You Want to Go, was released on February 5, 2016. On October 21, 2016, Santana released Santana IV, live at the House of Blues Las Vegas on Eagle Rock Entertainment, a new, 151 minutes, live album, on DVD Blu-ray 2 CD, of their concert on March 21, 2016 at the House of Blues, Las Vegas, Nevada.